But doing really, really well. A little change of plans because I actually have a story to tell you. I had a Silo's personal size pizza. And I have a Arizona fruit punch. 73 today. It's actually hot. So ooh, look at that. So my husband's listening to his phone loud. My dog is eating his food. And here's my cat. Because I decided to anyways, so I think it was around 6:22. I ordered this personal size pizza on the phone. They said it would be like 30 minutes. So I think I got there like 6:30 and I was like, cool. Like, I don't mind waiting. Because I wasn't in any hurry or nothing. And I noticed parking lot completely packed first off. Second off, people and kids everywhere. So when I sit down, there's a couple here, and there's a guy here, his kid here, and there's people coming in from over here, and it's just like nonstop. And I noticed that people are getting their meals for free, and I was like, huh? First time I just figured that somebody was just having an issue or argued with the manager or something and got the privilege or whatever you want to call it to get it for free. And I noticed the manager came out again. Someone else got their stuff for free. And then someone else got their stuff for free. And then I thought there was a problem with the oven. But at this point, I've been waiting like 50 minutes. And the guy that was next to me was there before, and he has a 10-year-old kid. And he's making some jokes like, my kid is in his baseball outfit. And you're making some dad jokes with his kids, and I'm just like, you know, the couple next to them, he asked them, oh, is this your first baby? I was like, how do you know she's pregnant? But she was pregnant. So I'm listening to all these cars. There's a lot going on in my it doesn't matter. But see how good this is? See that big chunk of tomato? Crispy, buttery, really good. Crispy on the outside. Still really doughy. So anyways, I was thinking to myself, getting kind of uncomfortable because there's so many people around me. But the guy was like being kind of loud, and he's been waiting longer than me. It's been like 50 minutes, and he asked about his pizza, and he's been waiting for at least a half an hour since they said his stuff was going to be ready. And I went up again, and I said, hey, I don't want to be rude. I know you guys are going through a lot right now, but when do you think my order will be ready? They said, oh, Kristen, your order will be ready before, it's right before this guy's. And I'm thinking to myself, well, my order was supposed to be done after his, right? Because, but they said that he had like 5 more minutes, and then he said he needed to call because his daughter, his older daughter, was at home by herself, and he needed to like get things done. And I agreed with that totally. I was like, yeah. So at this point, he's a little anxious. I'm getting a little anxious. A couple more people come in, annoyed with the boss, this, that, and the other. But the guy is starting to become less annoying to me because he's actually being friendly. Like, sincerely nice to this kid. And he apologized because he lifted up his kid like a baby right in front of me. And he turned around and said, I'm sorry. I was like, why? Well, it's good you're giving your son attention. It's better you treat him like this than ignore him. I didn't say that, but I tried to give out that vibe. And he had apologized to me previously before that. And I said, you're not bothering me at all. I'm just zoned out. I'm not mad, sad, or anything. I'm just boom. And he's like, that's funny. That's how I am between 8 and 6. Because that must be like his working hours. Anyway, so at this point, he's not bothering me anymore. The other couple left. Things are progressing. He goes up to get his food. And he says, and they say, you don't have to pay. And he says, no, I need to pay. And I said, you don't have to pay. He's like, well, are there any veterans here? He's like, let me give $200 to veterans. And I'm like, whoa. This guy is like super nice. Like, they said they don't come till tomorrow. He's like, well, put it on my check somehow for tomorrow. They said they couldn't do that. They bring his food to him. And the man comes out. I know it's supposed to be the other way, but he ended up getting his food first. And the man came out. And I said, look. And I didn't know if this guy with the kid was listening to me. I don't feel right not paying. This is just, I said, and I know you're used to people giving you grief for customer service, but I'm not that person. And the woman behind the counter said, well, I've had things thrown at me. I've had people yell at me. She's like, so I'm just, when we're providing a service and something happens, she's like, something actually didn't happen with the oven. Something happened with people ordering. So it's not your fault, she said, but, and I was just looking at her like, you poor thing. I was in customer service for like 15 years. Like, I understand. And the guy beside me said, I feel really uncomfortable not paying too. He's like, let me do it. And he took out his card. He said, let me pay for your, he meant me. I said, if you pay for me, I'm giving you cash back. He said, no, you're not. And I'm like, okay. Another argument. Because I don't want him to pay for me. I feel uncomfortable with him paying for me. I don't know this guy. And he said, well, why don't you just pay for a tip? Because they had a tip jar where you could put cash, and he didn't have cash. And I said, okay, fine. And I'm just looking at him. I said, thank you. I said, are you sure? And he just looked at me and he's like, you know what? If you don't have money, you don't have a business. He's like, and you need money to have a business, and I need to give you my business. That's pretty much what he was telling them. And then I looked at this lady behind the counter who was explaining to me how she was ABUSED a little bit in the past from customers who were mean to her. She said, look at that cheese. She said, I'll tell you what. She said, you have this meal for free. This guy didn't have to pay for his meal, which was like 2 pizzas and something, but he paid for my meal. So the guy got his food for free, but he paid for mine. And then I gave him a tip for payment. And then she gave me a voucher. So she's like, so next time, she's like, and next time when you come in, she's like, she put my name on a list. She's like, you're on the list, and you're gonna have you're gonna have a free meal, so you don't have to feel bad about not paying. Just tell them that you have a voucher. Um, you know, I was not feeling great. I slept all day yesterday. I ate bread today. Bread. And I don't know, something could happen for my husband today too. But I really threw me because I was ready to be like, because the whole vibe was annoying me at first because there was too many people in that small room. There was too many kids, and the guy was like being very loud, very like dominant, but not in a nasty way. Dominant just because he was being loud, and he was making conversation with people, and I was just like, oh my god. And I was like, this guy, no, get this guy away from me. But then when I saw the way he was with his kid, and then when he did something, he apologized to me, and I said, no, no, it's okay. And he apologized to me later again, and then he listened into my conversation explaining my uncomfortability with the situation. I also wanted to pay. He didn't have to pay for his meal, but he paid for mine. But then I gave the tip. The guy was probably like, he was really in shape. Brown hair, brown eyes. I'm sure he was white. Am I allowed to say that? Or do I have to say WHYTE or something? I don't know. And like really like trying to show off in front of his kid. And it was cute. Now that I know it's kind of cute, but at the time it was like. So I'm just saying, like, I think the whole situation really hurts because I had that protective mode going on of like, the more people there are, the more I want to be like in a proximity away from people. I'm not somebody who actually likes to project myself around people. I like to do this. When there's a lot of people in a small room, I like to have my own little space. And then when I got my own little space, and his started, just started opening up for him, I realized that like my initial thoughts were just, oh, that's ashes. Yeah, that's what happens. My initial thoughts, which I didn't let anybody know about, were wrong. And it's not. It was me who was uncomfortable, not him that was doing anything wrong. The way that he paid for it and the way everything went is like a huge blessing. And I'm gonna think about that guy a lot and wish him the best. But did you notice my cat came over here? Ashes came over here. Bella barked, which I had to edit out. And because as soon as I come home, all my animals follow me, which is nice. You want your animals to love you and care about you. But at the same time, you're like, okay, I need like 5 minutes. But no, as soon as you come home, they want food, they want water, they want to go to the bathroom. Anyways, I hope you liked the story and I hope you enjoyed this. I sure did. I'm gonna finish it. It's silos. It's really good because what they do is they put the sauce on the top and it's super chunky and it has a lot of tomato flavor, as you can see. And the crust is, I think I already explained, crispy on the outside and in the middle, it's super doughy. So yeah, just saying, stay positive and keep the faith, whatever it is that you have.